Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good middle of the night, whatever time you may find this video. You are tuning in to the Eagles Soaring High broadcast, and I am your host, Minister Antoine Williams, also known as Eagles Soaring High, and I am back with another video. Yes, I am back with another video. I am so glad to be here on today to come back and sit around the fireside with you and have a fireside chat. I am excited and I hope that you all are excited to be here with me. I am back to continue my Storimony series. My Storimony series. Um, my 8-part Storimony series. I pray that you all have been blessed by part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5 of this 8-part Storimony series. I hope that it has been informative to you and you have learned some things. You have learned the process and the method in which lust deals with you. This is my 8-part Storimony. The devil set me up, and I am back to continue on with this series with part 6 of this Storimony. I want to take the time to thank all all of you that have subscribed to me, those of you that's been with me from day one, and my new subscribers that I have gained. I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you to my house, Eagles, Eagles House. Come on in and have a seat around the fireside so that we can chat. Welcome into my nest. I am so glad to see all of you. I'm going to ask that you would like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel if you like what you've been seeing, if you like the content that I have been producing and putting out for you all to enjoy. One of the reasons why I done this 8-part Storimony is because I want to be transparent and reach out to those that may be going through what I have gone through and is suffering through. And you believe that you're the only one. You believe that there's no way to get out. But I pray that you would stay and watch all 8 parts of this Storimony series so that you can see how you can get out. If God could deliver me, surely he can deliver you also. So I pray that you stay with me during this time, during the whole video. I would appreciate it much. So I want to thank you all in advance for sticking around and watching this video. And not just this video, but the whole entire series. And so we are here and we are back again with another video. And I pray that this video will be just as informative for you. Uh, the devil set me up. This is part 6. I'm not going to prolong the time any longer. I want you to stick with me. I want you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. And we will be right back in just a little while to dive right into this video, part 6 of The Devil Set Me Up. I'll see you shortly. Be blessed. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. Um, I pray that my voice can be heard in this video. My voice is a little weak, but I'm going to press forward in this video to produce this content for you. Um, I've been coughing and I'm coming down with a cold, and my sinuses and my allergies are bothering me, but I'm going to press forward to do this video. Again, I want to welcome you to my house, Eagle's house, to come in and gather around the fireside just so that we can have a fireside chat. Come on into the nest. You are welcome. All is welcome. All is welcome. All is welcome. And I want you to come in. I pray that you feel welcome thus far. Well, this is part 6 of my Storimony series. The devil set me up. We're going to get ready and dive right into this video because I'm going to try to keep this video at um, a minimum. I'm going to try to not to make this video so long. So, well, in opening up this video, um, we're on part 6. And I want to take a few moments and let you know um, what spirits had taken um, control over me during this time period. After this seed had been planted in me, I'm going to run off this list and tell you uh, what spirits had connected and had attached themselves to me. And then we're going to move on. It's going to lead right into this Storimony. All right. Well, let's get ready and go on and dive into this video. Of course, I shared with you that there was a seed planted in me from being in high school, and the seed was planted in me from when I took my sex education class in high school. So the first thing that took place was the fact that a seed was planted, and as that seed began to grow and take root in me, the spirit of lust became evident. That seed began to grow and flourish, and it began to enlarge itself. And one of the first spirits that had come and connected and had entered in and had legal right was the spirit of lust. As time went on, the spirit of unclean thoughts began to enter in, came in, and began to take control of me. As time continued on, that spirit of lust moved from being unclean thoughts into being, or rather inviting in, the spirit of uh, the spirit of perverseness, I should say. And it was the spirit of perverseness to adult magazines. As that thing began to grow and it began to fester, and I kept feeding this spirit, the spirit of perverse to adult movies came in. And as time went on, and this spirit began to grow and go and get its friends and come in to inhabit this body, it went from the spirit of perverseness to adult movies to the spirit of addiction coming in and taking root. And so I shared with you all videos of, in the prior videos, the process in which lust began to take and become a part of my life. What once was something that I had just done and begun to do for fun or indulge in, uh, it moved from that level of life to the spirit of addiction. And that spirit of addiction is like someone that has been addicted to drugs. We must understand that addiction comes in many forms and many levels, forms, and shapes. I've never done drugs before, except for maybe some marijuana. Uh, but this spirit of addiction, again, it's likened unto someone addicted to drugs. Uh, they begin to take drugs and they reach a high in that part of their life. They reach a high. And so they continue to take and continue to take to try to attempt to reach that same level and that same height that they experienced on the first time. Well, that's how it was for me with lust. After the seed had been planted, it began to shift me from level um, to step, and it kept driving me and controlling me until it became such an addiction. My addiction that I had begun to take on and gravitate to was the fact that I had become addicted and obsessed to adult films, X-rated videos. I was still looking at the magazines and dealing with them, but then it came to the point to where the magazines wasn't enough, and I began to launch off into the videos. And after a while, I became obsessed and addicted to those videos. If I did not watch them, or if I did not entertain those magazines and those videos, I began to experience withdrawals. I started to fiend for it, whether because I was either at school or even at work, or so, someone was at home. I wasn't home alone, so I couldn't indulge into that habit, into that addiction like I could. And so there were those times where I would begin to fiend for it. My flesh and that spirit of lust was longing to be fed. It was beginning to, I guess, somewhat lose its power, lose its strength. So it needed to be fed, to be able to keep its hold on me. And I shared with you in prior videos before that, I was oppressed, not possessed. Oppression indicated that I was under the control of this spirit called lust. I was under the control, but yet I was still down on the inside, deep down on the inside, I still had some form of control. And though I was at a point where I was fighting not to get free, but fighting to hold on to this thing. My flesh and the spirit had overtaken me. And by this time, about six spirits had entered in and taken control. And it was driving me to a point where, because I did not indulge, I began to experience withdrawals. I began to experience this this feigning uh, state. If I didn't have it, I was angry. I had an attitude. If I didn't look and watch these contents I was going through, I was angry, but really didn't understand why. My flesh was crying out, and that spirit, those spirits was crying out because they had not had their daily fix. And so the first opportunity when everyone was gone, I would have to dive right into it. When I was home alone, I would have to pop that video in to feed my my spirit, feed that lust, feed that spirit. Had to feed my flesh because I had gone too far where it seemed like I was not going to be able to turn back and escape. And so it became a strong passion, a strong desire that I needed to fulfill, or I was going to have an attitude all day. all night. Think about around this time that I had um, a VCR in my room. But the thing about it was that I would not enjoy the video unless I could hear the sound, unless I could hear it ring in my ears. And so those times that, in looking back now, that those times when I was at home and everybody was there, I could lock my door and I would put it in, but I would have the volume down so low so no one could hear what I was watching. The obsession was strong. Another feeling that I had not experienced in my life before. I had never experienced such a strong feeling, a feeling that ran through me so much and burned in me till I felt like I was going to lose my mind. So I had to get my fix one way or the other. And in order for the spirit of lust and my flesh to be satisfied, I had to have all, all things, all signs. It was just not enough for me to look, but I had to hear, because now not only was my eyes affected, but my ears was affected, and it was used to hearing the sounds of pleasure screaming from the TV. And I became obsessed and addicted. When lust takes over you, it never tells you what it's going to do. It never tells you where it's going to lead you, where it's going to guide you. It just comes, brings its friends, and takes you higher and deeper into the sin and the mess. All the while and looking at the adult magazines and looking at the adult movies, I was feeling dirty, ashamed, embarrassed, guilt, shame, unworthy. My self-worth began to decrease. Nobody tells you how dangerous lust can be. No one tells you or shares with you the dangers of lust. The deeper that I begin to go in, the further I begin to distance myself from God. I had no idea that lust would burn inside me like a wildfire. And when I did not give in to it or could not give in to it, that it would burn and burn out of control. Again, my mind reflects on the words of Paul. And Paul said, when I would do good, evil would be present all around. That which I should not do, that I do. But that which I should do, I do not do. So it's no longer I that do it, but the sin in me. The sin that was burning and turning and raging on the inside, screaming, trying to encourage me to give in. Felt locked up in a prison, chained to a wall. Part of me wanting to be free, and the other part wanted me to stay bound. Because now, in looking back, God had a plan for me, but so did the devil. His plan was to draw me away from God, away from my purpose, away from my destiny, away from my assignment in life. It caused a shift in my passions and my desires. Got to be careful because lust is dangerous, and lust will take you to a dangerous place. Mhm. It implanted thoughts in my head that I would have never considered doing. And let me make this clear. When you hear me say young women, I'm talking about the young women that were my age, among my peers. The more I saw, the more I thought I was going to lose my mind. I could not go a day without looking at an adult magazine, nor without looking at an adult movie. I began to notice that the spirit of lust, these spirits that had taken over me, was having a greater control over me. I was losing my control. I was losing my self control. And I began thinking of doing things that was not going to turn out good. As I began to sit and think about this video, part 6 of this video of this series, my mind began to reflect on the Bible. of a text of a story within the pages of the Bible, where there was a character, a man in the Bible by the name David. David had sons. Can't go into the whole story, but I'm going to cut it down and paraphrase it and give it to you, just so that I can show you what lust can do. My mind began to reflect on David, and as I begin to look at David and I begin to look at his family, David had sons. He had a daughter by the name of Tamar. His son Absalom was talking with his brother and telling his brother how he had fallen in love with their sister Tamar, and that he was so in love with her that he could not imagine doing anything to hurt her. He loved her so much that he wouldn't do anything to hurt or cause her any pain. But he wanted his sister Tamar. And he was having a conversation with his brother. And his brother told him, says, all you got to do is talk to David, talk to our father. And surely our father will give you Tamar. Absalom thought about it some more, and when you look at it, you find I found out and looked at the situation, and I begin to see that Absalom was not thinking straight. Absalom was not thinking clearly. Absalom was not in charge. Absalom had a spirit of lust, not love. He had lust for his sister. And he disregarded the advice that his brother had given him. And Absalom manipulated the situation. He manipulated and played mind games with the situation. He used trickery to get what he wanted. So Absalom went in to his house and laid down and pretended to be sick, and sent word back to their father and asked him to send Tamar to come in to take care of him and cook for him and clean for him. And Tamar was there. David said, okay. And he sent Tamar into the home, not knowing that he was sending her into a trap, that she was being set up. Tamar was pure, untouched. She was a virgin, waiting for the day of marriage. In fact, let me rewind just a little bit. Absalom did not disregard the advice. He took the advice of his brother. And the sad thing is that they came up with this plan and set their sister up Tamar came into the room and she went and she cooked some bread for him. She cooked him a meal and took it into the bedroom. But before Tamar was allowed to bring the food into the room, Absalom had sent away all the help in the house. He sent away all the servants, gave them the night off, sent them away. Tamar went in blindsided. The devil had set her up. She didn't see it coming. Went into the home, fixed him something to eat, went into the bedroom to serve him his food. Absalom had a hunger and a desire, but it wasn't for food. And it was at this moment in the passage of scripture where I begin to realize that Absalom was no longer in control, but the spirit of lust was in control. The spirit of lust was operating through Absalom. Absalom was there, but Absalom was not in control. He was being led and guided by the spirit of lust. Tamar comes in and brings him his food, and he says he doesn't want his food. He asks her to lay with him. And when you find in the Bible where they say that they lay, they means that he that word means sex. He gave her an indecent proposal and she rejected that proposal. And because she had rejected the proposal, Absalom grabbed her, threw her on the bed, ripped her garments, and proceeded to have his way with her. And she begged him not to do what she said. If you just talk to our Father, he will give you, he will grant me to you. Don't do this. She begged and pleaded. And he forced her to lay with him. He forced her to have sex with him. So what am I saying? I'm saying that lust will take you to a place that will cause you to cause hurt and pain to your sisters, to your brothers. It burned so deep in Absalom. It became wild, a wildfire that was out of control. And that spirit of lust caused him to violate his sister. Why have I said all that? Preacher, why have you said all of this? I'm saying it because lust had pushed me and drove to a point and a place where I felt the need to violate one of my female peers. That spirit tried to encourage me to take advantage of these sisters. Thus had me believing that if they won't give it to you voluntarily, you take it. You force yourself on them. Tried to bring the spirit of Absalom on me and invite him in to have a residence and home in me. And my obsession and my addiction to adult magazines and adult movies fed that spirit of lust in me. But thanks be unto God that he kept me from going there. I would go to school, and the enemy would put me in places and positions where there was a young woman and seemed to be no one else around. And the Spirit began to speak to me and say, now it's your chance. Now it's your opportunity. Why? Because of my obsession. It's a sad thing that my flesh began to drive me, that the Spirit began to drive me. Because there was that need that had developed to need and want to be with a young woman. But God helped me. He placed a wedge between me and that action. There were even movies where there was forced sex, and that spirit had taken resident within me. The addiction doesn't stay at one level, it enlarges itself. Step by step, it grows. Telling you, lust, you got to watch it because it will drive you to do things that you would not normally do. Why? Because you're not in control. So there was a battle going a tug of war going on the inside of me. God on one side of me and the enemy on the other side. Because my commitment to God had begun to decrease. And the spirit of lust began to increase. God still had a way to make an escape. And every time an opportunity presented itself, God would bring distraction, cause a battle, a struggle, a battle that almost had full control. Can't explain to you how God did it and how God kept me, but He did. And because there was that rejection of the act of what lust was trying to do, it drove me further and deeper into that addiction. The addiction that was set out to destroy my life, to destroy my future. But God, even in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the situation, in the midst of the circumstance, the enemy trying to destroy me, ruin my life, God kept me. Because God was keeping me, it drove me deeper. So I would go home and indulge in the magazines and the movies every day, early in the morning, in the evening, in the midnight hour, obsessed and addicted, feigning like I was on drugs, angry, had an attitude, frustrated, angry, burning with a wildfire, burning out of control, raging in me. And yet I'm there left trying to understand, how did I get caught in the trap? How did I get to that place? Back then, I did not understand it, but now, as an adult looking back and have been set free and delivered, I can see the more I dove and indulged, into the magazines and the movies, the more it would enter into my dreams. The more dreams that I would have. And sometimes that spirit lust took me to the point and the place and the moment where I was about to make that release in my dream, and then he would wake me up. Became torturous, felt tormented in my mind and in my spirit. And now on the inside, I'm screaming, hoping somebody would hear my cries and help me get free from this spirit. 24/7, I fed my soul. I fed my spirit these things. And the more I fed my spirit, the stronger the hold became. Until I couldn't think of nothing or no one without the thoughts. 24/7 struggling had gotten so bad, and I realized I was in trouble at this point. That when I began to read my word, sexual thoughts would fill my mind. When I would go down in prayer, sexual thoughts would fill my mind. Sent there to distract me so much until I just stopped trying to pray. Stopped trying to read my word. I would go to church and folks would see me shouting and dancing and praising God and thinking that I was happy and in the spirit, when the truth of the matter is that I was praising God and hoping that I would praise my way out. Began to feel distant from God. I knew I was in trouble when I couldn't pray, read my word. I knew I was in trouble when I began to look at TV and watch TV. And everything had become sexual. Why? Because I was oppressed by lust and the spirits that had come in and made themselves at home. Trying to fight those feelings, the heat, the warmth that ran through, and my body reacting to these movies and these magazines, reacting to, leaving me in a place and a moment so distracted till I could not concentrate. Hmm. So for those of you that believes that spirits do not exist, I come to tell you that they exist. My addiction to adult magazines and adult movies was real. Was an addiction, an obsession, one in which I had to fix. I had to feed on a daily basis. And the more I fed myself, the more I was pushed to the next level. My God. Interesting thing again was that no one in the church could discern what I was going through. Come to tell you that I was obsessed and addicted. My drug was not crack, wasn't cocaine, wasn't meth, it wasn't, my addiction was not uppers and downers. It was pornography. And it almost destroyed me. Yes, it did. It almost destroyed me. I was truly obsessed and addicted to not only adult movies, but adult magazines. Getting ready to get up off of here because I don't want this video to be too long. But this is me, Minister Antoine Williams. This is me, Eagles, soaring high, being transparent and real with you. being real, exposing the devil and exposing myself so that you, the viewer, can see how dangerous lust can be if you don't reject it, if you don't remove it from your life. During that time period, I did not know what it was called. I didn't know how to deal with it. Yes, I quoted some scriptures and I told you what it was now, but back then I did not know. I wasn't that skilled. I wasn't that intelligent. I wasn't that smart. I was a baby in Christ trying to live my life for Christ and Christ alone. But now, as the adult that's been set free, that's been delivered, that's been healed, I can now tell you, excuse me, I can now tell you what it was. I can call a snake a snake. I can call a rat a rat. I can call that thing a thing. I can address the elephant in my room, in the room, because I know that there's someone out there, somebody out there that's going through what I went through, and you think that you're alone. And like me, you didn't like it, but your flesh loved it. You wanted out, but your flesh didn't want to let you out. You feel like you've been locked up in a prison, chained to a wall, suffering in agony, and don't know how to get free. I promise you, excuse me, I promise you, if you just stick with me, if you stick with me and go through the this series all the way to the end, in the last video, I promise you, I'm going to tell you how to get free. I must tell you the steps that it took. I had to tell you, I have to tell you that it started from a seed and then take you through step by step of how it elevated and enlarged itself within me, and take you through the process of it so that you can see and understand and maybe recognize those same process in your own life. Mhm. But I promise you, by the time that I get to video 8, part 8, I will tell you how to get free from it. I will tell you how to come out of that thing, just so that you can live the life that you were meant to live and be the best you. Oh God, I got to get off here. It's the time. It's still ticking and enlarging. So I'm going to get ready and go, but I'm gonna be back in just a little while with final thoughts, and then we're going to get off of here. God bless you. Stay with me to the end of this video. And if you will, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, because I'm giving you real talk right now, unraw, unedited. and a straight shooter without a chaser. Testimony to help somebody. God bless you. I will be back in just a little while. Stay with me. I'll be back with a final thought. God bless you. Well, God bless you. God bless you. We are just about done. We are almost done. I hope that I have shared some valuable information with you all, that I have shared some information to show how lust controls you and how lust leaves you and go get its friends and brings back its friends, and they make resident within you, and how it leads you into situations and circumstances that you did not foresee coming. I hope and pray that somebody can get this and examine themselves and look and discover the road that the spirit of lust has taken you down. I pray that you all will stay with me until the end of this series. Don't don't miss part 8 of this series. Don't, because that's going to be the most important part of this series, where I'm going to share with you how to come out of this situation, how to get out of it, how to get free, how to be healed and delivered from this spirit called lust. Well, we're going to get ready and go. But I want to remind you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I want to thank all of you that's viewing this, and you that's going to catch the replay. I want to thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. It means the world to me. I'm here exposing the enemy while exposing myself in order to help somebody else. This is my story and this is my testimony. But combine those two words, it is my storymony. And I'm sharing this to reach somebody that may be going through what I've been through and have come out. I want you all to tune in on tomorrow night, Friday night. We are going to be having Bible study. I want you to tune in and come and receive from God during that time. Please, if you haven't, go back and catch this series from day one all the way up into this point. I pray that it will bless you to know that there's somebody out there brave and strong enough to share their story with you just to help somebody else. I thank you all. I thank you for the support that you have given me. And I want you to tune in next week for part 7 of this series. The devil set me up. Well, again, if you will, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. I would love to have you a part of my community of eagles. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. If this video does nothing for you, can you please just take the few minutes to share it somewhere and get it into the hands of somebody that might be going through a storm such as this, who can know that they're not alone. They're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. Well, let's get ready and get up off of here because the time has just gone by so quickly. So I want you to get ready to spread your wings. Spread your wings right now. Spread your wings and fly. Spread your wings as an eagle and begin to fly. Fly. Fly high above all negative things, all false narratives, over every lie, over every rumor, over every trap and trick and obstacle. Fly, fly high above it. Now, fly high up in the sky and begin to soar, soar, soar right into your victory. Why? Because the Bible says, but they that await upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings as eagles. They shall run and not get weary. They shall walk and not faint. Well, God bless you. God keep you. And may his love forever shine upon you. I want to thank you for tuning in. Once again, this is Eagles. This is the Eagle Soaring High broadcast, and I am signing off. I am your host, Minister Antoine Williams, also known as Eagles Soaring High. Whatever you do, please be safe and blessed and stay in the arms of the Father and enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening, the rest of your afternoon, the rest of your evening, the rest of your midnight hour. Whatever time you may find this, just enjoy the rest of that day. God bless you. God keep you, and may his love forever shine upon you. Until the next time, I'll see you in the next video. God bless you.